Biopics of famous people are hard things to get right, especially given that how most of them go for a greatest hits approach to portraying that person's life. Musical biopics are probably the worst offenders for this, as they try to cram as many key moments of that person's career into a 2-hour runtime, resulting in an end product that often skims over the finer details and slightly more personal parts in favour of significant milestones that people remember them for. Regular biopics also suffer from a similar issue, but instead of focusing on important and iconic moments, they instead try to act like the film equivalent of speed reading through the celebrity's Wikipedia page and getting the info you need purely from that, and again, skipping over the finer details. However, every now and then, a biopic will come along and tackle the subject in a different manner, prioritising and dissecting one specific point in that individual's life, allowing the filmmaker to analyse the person at the centre of the story instead of the legacy that they left behind. Steve Jobs, a film that I may or may not cover in the future, is one of the first examples that comes to mind that does this approach very well. Though in my opinion, the best two examples of this style of biopic are those made by Pablo Larraín, 2016's Jackie and this year's Spencer. Jackie uses an interview as the basis to explore her memories after the sudden death of her husband John F. Kennedy in 1963. Whereas Spencer, the example I want to focus more specifically on for the sake of this video, sets itself over 3 specific days during the Christmas period in 1991 at Sandringham Estate, where Diana and the rest of the royal family are staying for the holidays. Now, if you've seen either of these films, you will know that there is an almost natural evolution in Larraín's approach when looking at how Jackie compares to Spencer. Jackie, for the most part, portrays the emotions of this moment in time at face value. However, Spencer, on the other hand, feels more like a deep dive into Diana's mental state at this specific time, both in terms of how she is feeling at that point, but also what she wants the most, which is to go back to when things were a lot simpler and a lot less regimented, so to speak. The film uses a lot of surreal, dreamlike imagery to establish the varying stages of Diana's state of mind throughout the Christmas period in which the film is set, and these parts work to varying degrees of success, especially one moment in the third act as she revisits her childhood home in the dead of night and comes to a realization of where her life is and where it could possibly end up. However, some of the more poignant moments in the film that more effectively showcase how she feels like a lost soul in this somewhat alien lifestyle are the scenes where she gets to spend time with her sons Harry and William.
Mummy, why do we have to open our presents on Christmas Eve? Why not Christmas Day like everybody else?
You know, at school you do tenses.
Yeah.
It's the past, the present, future.
Right.
Well, here, there is only one tense. There is no future. Past and the present are the same thing.
Spencer is a perfect example of how Larraín's biopics prioritise the person instead of the events. This was something he did amazingly well in Jackie, as the film relies solely on her reactions to everything going on around her instead of the actual events themselves. But with Spencer, that approach is tightened and a lot more focused, in a way almost feeling very claustrophobic because of it, as the camera rarely leaves Diana throughout the entirety of the movie, and when it does, it is only for a brief second. Even incredibly straightforward scenes are shot in a manner of intimacy and importance, as the camera is always moving or positioned in a way that greatly adds to the disoriented headspace Diana is currently in. Take this simple conversation scene between her and Charles. This is the first time in the film Diana has been able to speak openly about how she feels to someone other than William, Harry, or her royal dresser Maggie. This is a moment that should feel somewhat cathartic, but because it is met with immediate hostility from Charles and plays out as something between an argument and a heart-to-heart talk, Lorraine very wisely chooses to use a slow push in with the camera to emphasise the growing tensions between not just Diana and Charles, but Diana and the rest of the royal family. It is a very simple effect, but it really works, almost making it feel like the scene is constantly building up to something that never fully comes to fruition. Spencer is full of recurring visual cues that clearly show the mental deterioration of Diana throughout these 3 days at Sandringham, and how this new lifestyle she has become a part of is slowly eating away at her from the inside out. All of this, coupled by the hazy and dreamlike cinematography, greatly exaggerates the unpredictability of everything that is happening, and show the gradual disconnect between her thoughts and reality. Plus, the fact that the film takes place in this one location, and every time she tries to leave she immediately gets pulled straight back again, make the events of the film appear even more fantastical, as she is quite literally separated from the outside world, the world that she used to call home. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Remember to also follow me on Twitter and Letterboxd to keep up to date with everything that I do. Give the video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Bye.